Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel, and thank you for joining me for another true crime video. I am excited to talk to you about this topic today because in some loose way, I've been tracking these cases and putting these pieces together without even knowing I was putting pieces together. And I've been doing this since late December of 2025. But before we dive into that world, let's have a word from the sponsor of today's video. This video is sponsored by June's Journey, and good subject, amorous, vintage vibe, random complete gift when you held them are together from stage. But let's be honest, it feels like it was not various office point for that scripture sort of at a loss at this point. There's some weird stuff happening in the world, and there's probably always been weird stuff happening in the world. We just haven't been privy to it. So between what we're going to talk about today and what we've been talking about with Jeffrey Epstein, I feel like something's going to happen. Things are about to go down. We are going to see a lot of things changing. The world we live in changing, at least to our perception. And maybe we'll figure out that it's always been this way. We just have been living in a non-reality at this point. But the people I talked about in the intro of this video, they are connected through multiple things. They're connected through geographic clusters in the United States where military, aerospace intelligence, and advanced research activities are heavily concentrated and interconnected. A networked ecosystem of military bases, labs, contractors, and universities that all feed into each other. These people all worked in fields that focused on things like space systems, weapons development, nuclear energy, advanced materials, surveillance, classified programs. And what happened to all of these people got various levels of news coverage as the time went on. Surface level explanations of what the cases were, nothing that went too deep, and always saying like, hey, we don't really know what happened here, but we're still investigating. Until the disappearance of General William Neal McCasland on February 27, 2026, when major news networks began reporting on his case, as well as its potential connections to some of the other cases. News Nation's Russ Coulthart has called McCasland's disappearance a grave national security crisis for the United States of America, because McCasland is, quote, a man with some of the most sensitive secrets of the United States in his head, end quote. So it is with the disappearance of General William McCasland that we will start. On the morning of February 27th, 2026, sometime after 10 a.m., 67-year-old William Neal McCasland left his home in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and apparently set out on foot, leaving behind his prescription glasses, cell phone, and wearable devices. His wife, Susan, returned home from an appointment around noon, and she reported him missing at 3:07 p.m. Now, the only things that Susan could identify as being missing from the home that she shared with her husband was his wallet, his hiking boots, and a .38 caliber revolver with a leather holster. Now, it has been reported that McCasland is an experienced hiker and an avid outdoorsman, and he lives at 1701 Quail Run Court, a cul-de-sac in Sandia Heights. In this photo, you can see that the foothills of the Cibola National Forest were basically in his backyard, and McCasland was known for enjoying hiking and cycling in the Sandia Mountains, which is located in that area behind his home. Law enforcement in this case, they did the things that they usually did. They looked for him. They asked neighbors to submit any security camera footage they had of the time period where McCasland was believed to have left home. They asked anyone who was in the Sandia Mountains on February 27th or 28th to check their GoPro and camera footage, and they created a dedicated evidence portal where users could upload their videos and pictures. Investigators have canvassed more than 700 homes and have searched a vast stretch of terrain using dogs, drones, ground teams, and helicopters. The police also issued a silver alert, citing concern for McCasland's safety due to his medical issues. Now, this is weird, and I'm not the only one who thought it was weird. A lot of people, including Ross Coulthart, have said, this is weird. Why did they do this? So in New Mexico, the criteria for a silver alert applies to someone who is over the age of 50, and they have to have a clear indication that the individual has an irreversible deterioration of intellectual faculties. That's not something I made up. I'm going to put it up on the screen. You'll be able to see that is the criteria for a silver alert in New Mexico. And this is odd considering who General William McCasland is and was, and the fact that he was an incredibly intelligent and active man who had just gone on a 60-mile bike ride the week before he vanished into thin air. So during a news conference on March 16th, law enforcement said the silver alert remained in effect and it had been issued because McCasland previously reported that he was experiencing a mental fog. But Lieutenant Kyle Woods of the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office made sure to clarify that investigators did not believe McCasland was cognitively impaired at the time of his disappearance.
I'll clarify it with this. There's no indication, and we are not putting forward, that Mr. McCasland was disoriented, confused. Arguably, he would still be the most intelligent person in the room that any of us would be in. Highly intelligent, highly capable, but that information was given to us early on, and out of an abundance of caution, we escalated to a silver alert to try to garner as much public attention as possible to try to help locate him as soon as possible.
And yeah, that is just odd to me. It's off because, as I said, a silver alert goes out when the person has an irreversible deterioration of intellectual faculties. And so somebody, most likely General McCasland's wife, Susan, had told the police that McCasland had a mental fog months before he went missing. And I just don't know if that would qualify for that. I don't know if having a mental fog or saying you had a mental fog months before you disappeared would qualify as your mental state or your faculties deteriorating irreversibly.
No, but that's what they gonna say. That's what they gonna claim though. But they ain't got nothing to do with it. But that's what they gonna claim anyway.
I mean, I
don't know. This is all allegedly.
had a mental fog yesterday, and I'll probably have
And don't listen to nothing I say. Don't take nothing I say serious.
another one tomorrow, maybe even later today. But let's listen to Susan McCasland's call to 911 when she reported her husband missing. And she'll introduce herself with a different last name. That would be her maiden name. And I don't know if she changed her name when she got married or if she kept her maiden name, but I'm just calling her Susan McCasland so you understand that I'm referring to Susan, General McCasland's wife.
Hi, April. My name is Susan Wilkerson. My husband is missing. Okay. And it's been about 3 hours, and I have some indication that he must have planned not to be found. He's left his phone. He changed his clothes into I don't know what. I think he's on foot. All of our cars and bicycles are in the garage. I left for a doctor's appointment at about 11:10, and he was here at that time at the house. And I got back from that at noon, and he was gone. He turned it off and left it behind, which seems kind of deliberate because he's always got his phone. He has a smartwatch. I don't know if that's with him or not.
Has he ever done this before?
Never. Nothing even remotely like it. He's a retired Air Force Major General. He's very responsible, but he's also facing some medical issues.
Do you have any video at your home?
No.
Has he been diagnosed with any mental disorders or anything like that?
Well, we've been seeing a doc for both physical and mental in terms of anxiety, short-term memory loss, lack of sleep. The same doc I went to see today.
Does he carry any weapons on him?
Well, not generally. He does have a gun safe, and I went to look in the gun safe to see if anything was missing, but I couldn't tell if anything was. He has quite a number of pistols and rifles. Other than saying if his brain and body keep deteriorating, he didn't want to live like that. But it seemed to me that was just a, man, I hate how this is going kind of thing, because I told him, yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Okay. We're going to send some deputies up to talk to you, see if we can search a little bit and see what's going on, okay?
Sure.
Susan said it seemed deliberate, right? Her husband leaving, walking away from the house on foot, leaving behind any of his devices that could help locate him. This must have been something he planned to do, and he planned to not be found. Now, Susan also does suggest that maybe McCasland had been depressed because of his brain fog and mental deterioration, but she also says that she doesn't think that he took his own life. It was more of a regular, like, hey, I'm aging, this sucks, I don't like this, especially for somebody like McCasland, who, as we'll come to find, he was very intelligent, brilliant, illustrious career. So, yeah, I could see somebody like that having a hard time getting older and dealing with just the regular cognitive decline that comes along with that. And even if General McCasland was like, oh, I've got some anxiety and brain fog, I want to end it all, which why would he do that? But even if he wanted to do that, wouldn't he still wear his prescription glasses to get to the place that he planned to go in order to end it all? I wear prescription glasses, and it's not one of those things where it's like, oh, I can't read without my glasses. It's like, I'm probably not going to go hiking in the wilderness, in the mountains, in the forest without my glasses because I need to see things, right? So it doesn't make any sense. All right. And I believe at this point, law enforcement has said, hey, we don't think that General McCasland took his own life or intended to harm himself. Like, as far as our investigation has brought us, we have not found any sign of that. It was also reported that McCasland had a second home in Pagosa Springs, Colorado, about 35 miles north of the New Mexico border and 200 miles from his New Mexico home. It was also reported that McCasland had a second home in Pagosa Springs, Colorado, about 35 miles north of the New Mexico border and 200 miles from his New Mexico home. So I guess police were like, well, maybe he went there to hide out, whatever. Obviously, he couldn't walk there on foot. He could, but not anytime soon. It'd take him a long time. So the investigators did search there, and then they reported that they found hiking boots. And I'm not sure why they told us that, because if I had two homes and I liked hiking and both of my homes were located in places where there might be mountains to hike in, I might have two pairs of hiking boots. Like if I had a second home, I can afford to have a second pair of hiking boots. But they did. They told us, oh, we found hiking boots at his home. Not the same hiking boots, just hiking boots. So on March 7th, 8 days after he disappeared, a gray U.S. Air Force sweatshirt was found a little over a mile from McCasland's home. Now, this sweatshirt, it's reported constantly when you read the story, but it hasn't even been confirmed to belong to General William McCasland. Yes, he was in the Air Force, but there's no proof or sign that it's his sweatshirt. Outside of that, there has literally been no trace of this man, even though law enforcement has used every search method and tool at their disposal. So why would the disappearance of a retired U.S. Air Force general potentially pose a serious threat to our country's national security? Well, to tell you that, we have to know who William McCasland is and what he's done throughout his very exciting and illustrious life. William McCasland grew up in an Air Force family, the son of Lieutenant William H. McCasland and Robin McCasland. And when he was young, his father was killed in a flying accident, and his mother remarried Lieutenant William R. Casey, another airman. So McCasland attended the United States Air Force Academy. He graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree in astronautical engineering in 1979. He went on to receive a full scholarship from the Hertz Foundation, and he got his master's degree in aeronautical engineering in 1980. After this, McCasland served in the Payload Systems Division with the Secretary of the Air Force of Special Projects at Los Angeles Air Force Base. So I said a lot of things there, and I didn't know what any of it meant, so I obviously had to look into it. So the Secretary of the Air Force Special Projects was actually a highly classified division of the Air Force, responsible for top secret space and reconnaissance programs. Understand, this is not standard Air Force work. This is what they call deep black program territory. So in the U.S. military and the intelligence world, programs fall into a few different categories. unclassified, meaning, everyone knows, classified, meaning it's not public knowledge, kept secret, but, the government will still acknowledge it exists if they need to. And then black programs, which are super secret and not publicly acknowledged at all. We're talking advanced weapons systems, experimental aerospace projects, who knows what else. Access to these projects is limited to people with the top secret clearance and who are special access program approved. So we can use context to figure out what kind of super secret stuff William McCasland was working on. He worked in the payload systems division, which you see a lot in like military and government terms, payload. And I had no idea what that meant. It sounds like the most boring word ever. But it basically means he was working on the part of satellites that collect information and do missions. And he was doing this at Los Angeles Air Force.
Satellites, eh? Hmm. Hmm. Satellites, eh? Hmm. Starlink is a global satellite internet constellation operated by SpaceX. Okay, that's nice to know.
Space, which is a space and acquisition hub, which is now home to Space Systems Command. Now, historically, the Los Angeles Air Force Base was the center of satellite development, defense contractor coordination with companies like Lockheed Martin and Boeing, and classified space programs. Given all of that, it is very likely that McCasland was working on highly classified satellite programs tied to intelligence collection and or national security infrastructure. And that was just in the early 1980s because in 1985, McCasland returned to MIT to complete a doctorate in astronautical engineering, where his dissertation was about making complex, flexible aerospace systems smart enough to stabilize themselves and keep working, even if parts of the systems break off or fall apart. So his thesis advisor was Richard Batten. Richard Batten is a legendary aerospace engineer at MIT, best known for helping design the guidance system that got astronauts to the moon during the Apollo program. And if you don't remember, because it's been such a long time, that was back in the 70s. So after this, General McCasland returned to the Los Angeles Air Force Base as an assistant director of the Office of Special Projects. This means he was working inside a top secret Air Force office that handled advanced space and surveillance systems, not just working, but leading major projects, managing teams, and overseeing development. He was involved in the early development of spy satellites, so systems that take images from space, intercept signals, and track activity globally. In 1992, McCasland moved to Buckley Air Force Base in Colorado, where he served as the director of mission planning for the Aerospace Data Facility. Buckley is a major hub for satellites.
Oh, we about to have a lot of YouTube pages up. Oh, we about to have a lot of YouTube pages up. Oh, we about to have a lot of YouTube pages. I'm just trying to get you to understand what it's going. That's all. I'm just trying to get you to understand what it's going. What they say? What the summary say? Deep beneath Colorado's granite, this facility houses 600 people with self-sustaining water, power, and food. Where is this at? Deep beneath Colorado's granite. What he? What she just said? What she just said?
Planning for the Air Force Base in Colorado, where he served
Hold on, what this is? What's really hiding under?
Driving south to Colorado Springs, it looms in the distance. One of the most famous military bases in the world, Cheyenne Mountain. 1 mile inside the granite, 2,000 feet down from the top, it is a giant command and control center that has kept America safe for 50 years. Inside the mountain are 15 2- and 3-story buildings. They are freestanding but connected by hallways and ramps. There is also a service area to keep the complex running, and even reservoirs, yes, underground lakes. You get inside by driving through a 2-mile tunnel, and when you get to the middle, you see the doors. The
Don't ask me how I know this, by the way.
two famous blast doors that have kept the facility safe when they're closed. The door to this building weighs 25 tons and runs on hydraulics. It's usually open all the time, but if it is closed, oh, then there's a problem.
I mean, obviously, Cheyenne Mountain was built to survive and endure through a nuclear event, and all of us hope that never happens.
The buildings behind those doors were built on 1,300 giant springs.
What did my man specify in? Hey, I don't know nothing though. I don't. Hey, bro, I don't even know what she talking about. I don't even know what she talking about.
Served as the director of mission planning for the Aerospace Data Facility. Buckley is a major hub for satellite operations, intelligence gathering, and space-based surveillance. And the ADF is a ground station that receives data from satellites in space. So at this point, General McCaslin wasn't just collecting data, he was deciding what the satellites should focus on, when they should collect data, how to prioritize different targets, etc. So this moved McCaslin from building the satellite systems to using them. He then took a break from this job to attend Air War College at Maxfield Air Force Base, a place for people being groomed for top leadership roles who would be trained on things like.
And with that being said, we're gonna take our first drink. Y'all tap that. Y'all tap that. Tap that. Tap that. All right, cool. Tap that. All right, cool. We all in. All right, cool. We all in. Whew.
Military planning, strategy, global conflict, national security. He also went to the Defense Systems Management College where he learned how to manage large and complex defense programs with budgets of billions of dollars while working with contractors and overseeing classified projects. And he's going to need that information. He's going to need that education and knowledge later on in life. He then returned to Buckley where he was put in command of the Aerospace Data Facility. So to put it simply, McCaslin was pulled out of his job at the Aerospace Data Facility. He was trained at elite military schools to become a senior leader in charge of very classified secret information, and then he returned to take command of a unit responsible for operating U.S. spy satellite systems. By 1997, McCaslin was back at Los Angeles Air Force Base, where he spent the next 3 years as the chief engineer of the Navstar GPS Joint Program Office. So basically, Navstar, it's like GPS stuff for military, but also for the private sector, like what our phones use to, get us from place to place. In 2000, McCaslin took control of the Space-Based Laser Project Office.
You got to pay attention to all this shit. You got to make this shit make sense when you think about it.
Meaning he became the person in charge of a program trying to build lasers in space for military
It wasn't just one program. So you thinking one.
use. Now, a space-based laser, I didn't even know we had those. I'm very behind, but we do. It's a laser weapon placed on a satellite designed to track and potentially destroy targets, especially
Ben had those.
Missiles shortly after launch. So if another country sends a missile towards us, we've got these lasers on satellites, apparently they can take them out. In 2001, McCaslin moved to Kirtland Air Force Base in New Mexico, where he was appointed commander of the Phillips Research Center. Remember this. So Kirtland is a major Air Force research facility that develops advanced space technology. At this site, McCaslin worked on a lot of things: spacecraft technology,
Oh, I'm
laser
sure.
systems again, and advanced materials. Advanced materials, put a pin in that. In 2005, McCaslin was back at the Los Angeles Air Force Base, now the vice commander of the Space and Missile Systems Center. And 2 years later, he was made the director of space acquisition at the Pentagon. So now he's at the Pentagon, okay? Pretty high up Department of Defense stuff. In this role, McCaslin helped decide what space systems get built, which companies build them, like Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and how a budget consisting of billions of dollars would be spent. In 2009, McCaslin moved into the Office of the Secretary of Defense and became Director of Special Programs, the most sensitive classified programs in the US government. I think they call them SAPs, like Special Access Programs. But when you hear people say SAPs or SAP or something like that, that's what they're talking about: Special Access Programs or Special Programs. We're talking advanced weapons that 99.9999999% of people will never get to know about. And even less people will get to know everything about them, because I've come to find that in these special access programs, when you're dealing with such classified information, not one person is going to have all the information for everything about the program. They're going to have like everybody sort of split up, and this guy knows this, and this guy knows this, and this girl knows that. And then when they come together,
Nah, ain't no coming together. They don't even want you to talk about it amongst each other. They don't even want you to talk about it amongst you. They don't even want you. They don't even want you to do too much talking. Damn, I've been beside this motherfucker for 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks, for 12 hours a day, and you don't want us to talk about it? Wait a minute. You know what I mean?
and like give their reports to
Yo, this shit gets strange, bruh. This shit gets strange when you know the details.
whoever is reading the reports, then all the information comes together. But very, very, very few people are going to see the full picture. We're also talking experimental technology that the mind cannot even perceive is actually being researched and created there. These special access programs, like weapons that you would maybe see in, futuristic movies, but you'd think, oh, we'll never have that. We probably already do. He also became executive secretary for the Special Access Program Oversight Committee, with full purview of all America's most sensitive and secretive knowledge, capabilities, and programs. In May of 2011, General McCaslin left the Pentagon for his final posting, assuming command of the Air Force Research Lab at Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio, where he was in charge of multi-billion-dollar budgets for research into advanced and often classified materials, science, and future weapons research across one of the largest scientific centers in the Department of Defense, the Air Force Research Lab. We're going to talk about that a lot. So McCaslin oversaw billions
Oh,
of
I bet.
dollars in research in advanced materials, sensors, directed energy, aka lasers, space systems, and future weapons. Now, this
AKA Starlink.
specific Air Force Base, Wright-Patterson, it also has ties to aliens, extraterrestrials, a topic that has been in the news a lot as of late. Don't roll your eyes or turn off the video. I'm going somewhere with this. You're just going to have to trust me. Stay with me here. So in 1947, something crashed near Roswell, New Mexico. We all
Heard about this before.
know about this. At first, the military said it was a flying disc, and everyone was like, what? And then they quickly changed their story and they said, no, our bad, we were wrong. It's a weather balloon. It's always a weather balloon.
Sound familiar, don't it? Sound familiar, don't it? Oh, that don't sound familiar to you. No? Not at all? Okay. Let me help you. Nah, I don't think it sounds familiar enough to you.
U.S. fighter jets shooting down that suspected Chinese spy balloon today. This was off the coast of South Carolina. The Chinese surveillance craft actually hovered over parts of the U.S. over the past week. The president saying today he ordered the takedown back on Wednesday, but military officials wanted a safe location, they say, to take action. Michael George now with more on that event today.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Yo, eh, yo.
Said, quote, in actuality, the U.S. and China have never announced any visit. The U.S. making any such announcement is their own business, and we respect that. Michael George, CBS News.
And with all of this, about 20 miles from Charlotte, North Carolina, the town of Gastonia, and the police there tell us they urge locals not to fire weapons into the air in efforts to take down possibly that balloon.
Now to the suspected Chinese spy on purpose. The U.S. says the balloon flight was a clear violation of international law. Nancy Cordes is at the White House this morning, where officials are defending their response.
Right. So this is the same shit from 4 decades ago. Wait a minute. This is from 4 decades ago. Wait a minute. Except for back then, we don't got no footage of that. We don't got no footage of that. So now here's my question. Whether spy balloon or test run.
Nancy, good morning.
Good morning, David. Yeah, the White House has been strenuously arguing all weekend that waiting to shoot this balloon down was the safest thing for people on the ground.
Hey y'all, we ain't gonna do too much of this video tonight. I just kind of wanted to get into this. I just kind of wanted to, cause I I'm I'm feeling like this. I'm feeling like this. And I just told my ex-wife, bro. I said, we was on the way, and I was talking to her, bro. She like, well, maybe you need to, cause I'm like, I don't know how I feel tonight. I don't know where I want to go with it. So we naming our things like, man, did plenty of that I already did. So now we on the subject. So she like, well, maybe you should just get on there and just talk about this and that and that's is going on. And I had to tell her like, nah, it ain't that easy. It ain't that easy. So we talking, and we come up with a solution. We come up with a solution, and here we are. Here we are. So if you ain't catching it, if you think what I'm doing right now, what I'm trying to show you right now, what's going on top of the homework that she's listen, if you ain't trying to pay attention to the homework that I'm giving you on top of the homework that we getting from her, then it's okay. I'm not the creator for you, and I understand. I get it. Yeah, listen, I ain't mad at it. I ain't trust me. I ain't cause listen, I don't know everything. Do I want to know everything? Yes and no. Do I want to act like I know everything? No. I don't care to act like I know everything because I want to know everything. You got to tell me. I got to know. Is it fact? Are we speaking facts? Please enlighten me. I need it. Feed me. I'm hungry. My stomach's so starved that I'm begging for it. No Diddy. Pause. I'm just saying. I'm telling you, bro. I'll tell you, bro. I didn't. Hey, listen. What I'm saying though, if you think I'm just on here, just bullshit, just watching anything, just, just, just watching this shit, just to be watching it, just putting it on, and just staring at the screen, and just trying to make you, force you to watch it, steering you in to spin around and taking you to the wrong direction to the left and coming back round to the right and going into the cul-de-sac and go to the house up the hill and come back from the house up the hill and go down the street and go to the right. You think I'm trying to do all that? It's cool, bro. It's cool. I ain't yo, listen, I ain't mad at you. But all I'm trying to say is it's a lot of shit that's going on. This shit don't need to be taken lightly, bro. It's getting real. If you ain't never understood that this shit getting real than ever before, you gotta understand this now, bro. It's getting real. And it's gonna take as much people as it is that's gonna need to be together, then it's gonna take for everybody to be still on the same bullshit. Oh, I hate going to work because I gotta see that nigger. I hate going over there because, man, god damn, they got it crack over there. And yo, listen, man, I hate y'all, man. All these fucking wetbacks and this, that, and the third, and how many landslides do it take to stop a fucking, like, you know what I'm saying? All this bullshit. Yo, nah, brother. Nah, brother. It, it's deeper than that. This shit get way deeper than that. Believe it. This shit get way deeper than that.
Now, there were a lot of people who didn't believe the weather balloon story. They believed that the wreckage was an alien spacecraft and that the US military not only recovered a craft that day, but biological material from that crash site. And these recovered materials were transferred from New Mexico to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio for study. Because remember, at the Air Force Base, they have the materials, I think it's called the Materials Directorate or something like that, or directive, but they study and try to replicate advanced materials. So for decades, this story has.
Hey, I ain't here to convince you either. I'm just here to simply state the truth, and not only state the truth, but to simply just understand where everybody else overstand what everybody else is trying to overstand. That's all. That's all. Cause I mean, I'm curious. I'm curious too. I'm curious too. But guess what? When, hey, listen. I'm gonna tell you like this, and I tell y'all this all the time. Y'all know I tell y'all this. If it's above my pay grade, hey, I ain't fixing to elaborate too much. But listen, if the price range in my numbers, hey, 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 that green look real good, man. That green look real good. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Stayed kind of on the fringe. You know, we talk about it in internet forums. It's labeled a conspiracy theory. Some people are like, maybe, but how could the government lie about it for this long?
And we
But there
pull
is
up. We on
some
shot two.
evidence to support all of this and kind of bring it away from the fringes. First of all, Wright-Patterson did have facilities for analyzing foreign technology and materials. There are long-standing units whose job it is to take unknown or foreign technology and figure out exactly what it is, how it works, and how to replicate it, how to reverse engineer it, basically. In July of 2023, the U.S. House Oversight Committee held a public hearing on UAPs, right? So unidentified aerial phenomena, which is the same thing as UFOs. We just call it something different now because I guess UFOs got a bad rap. You know, it was like, we don't like UFOs anymore. That sounds kind of cheesy. We're going to call them UAPs now because that's more legitimate. So during the hearing, 3 military veterans testified. David Grush, Ryan Graves, and David Fravor. So David Grush is a former U.S. Air Force major and intelligence officer with the Pentagon's UAP task force, which remember means unidentified aerial phenomena. And he said under oath that the U.S. has operated a multi-decade program to recover and reverse engineer craft of non-human origin. He also claimed that biological material was recovered from Roswell and from other crash sites, and this biological material was not human. He alleged that these programs are hidden from Congress and some are improperly shielded within SAP's special access programs.
But as I stand here under oath now, I am speaking to the facts as I've been told them.
Oh,
In the U.S. Air Force, in my national...
man, y'all remember this shit? I remember this whole little... Bro, I remember this whole little period right here. They had another dude up there. They was asking him about the shit he saw. And he kept saying, I tell you, but I can't tell you on camera. He kept saying that shit. He said that shit 17 million times. I can disclose, but it's just not at this time. Huh? Bitch, I'm asking you now. Bitch, I ain't asking you when this shit end and the cameras go off. Bitch, I want this. No, bitch, we trying to figure this shit out right now. But see, guess what? Everybody on some shit like, oh, they always trying to hide something. This, that, and the third, and they never want to tell the truth. But check this out, right? And I said this, I've been saying this the last couple of days. Bro, if 90% of the world knew the truth, it wouldn't be fiction no more. It wouldn't be no such thing as fiction no more. It wouldn't be no such thing as what they call that shit uh basically like a false like a I forget what they call that shit. But it would be none of this um fake play false narrative. It wouldn't basically what I'm getting at, it wouldn't be nothing to sell no more. So now shit that we was making trillions of dollars off of, that we keep claiming that it's going down. Oh, the bill, the $20, it went down. How so, brother? How so? That's what I asked the motherfucker. I asked the motherfucker that. Hey, bro, explain this to me. How so that the bill is going down? Oh well, no, bro. I still don't understand it. Explain deeper. Oh well, damn, bro. You just basically said the same shit that you just told me the first time when I asked you. So I figured out that he didn't even have the answer himself. So I just changed the subject. I just act like I was just agreeing just to change the subject. No, bro, you ain't explaining to me what the fuck you talk. You still talk about some bullshit that you ain't saying right. That don't make sense. So you telling me? So you telling me? Somebody please explain this shit to me so I don't sound dumb, bro. But please explain to me, bro. The cars now is, bro. Back okay. a decade ago, a Honda was say $15,000, $12,000. Bro, you go now, a Honda is damn near $30,000, $40,000. So explain to me, and where in that does that scream a dollar bill is going down to you? Please explain that to me. Please explain it. Please, please. Motherfucker try to tell me, oh yeah, because back then you could get a house for $18. This is what motherfucker told me. Oh, back then you could get a house for $18. Now, now you you're spending, you're paying 20, $30,000, bro. That that okay. So if that was the case, if money was losing value, I should have been able to get I should have been able. I got it for $18 60 years ago. Now that motherfucker should be $8. But it's not like that. That shit that was $18 ago now it's $1,800. So please tell me in what world is the dollar bill going down? I I just don't I don't get that. I don't get that narrative. I don't, bro. And I've tried to get this explained to me several. That was really the best way that somebody could have tried to explain to me, and I still was looking at him like, bro, that shit don't even make sense to you, brother, because you just said the same shit to me twice. So that shit didn't even make sense to you. So how? Please, I don't know. So, but if anybody come in here or anybody in here that can explain to me how the fuck uh uh the dollar bill is going down, please explain to me. Because if I was worth $3 billion back then, now and stand me if I'm corrected, but now $3 million back then is like $20 million now. So it's that's what I'm trying to say. Explain to me how this shit going down. Explain to me. Oh, we we don't make pennies anymore. We stopped making pennies. We don't make oh we you go in the store now, that's what they say. You say you buy something $20, your change come back, it's 1862. Oh, I don't have the 2 cents, so I'm just gonna have to give you 70 cents, or are you fine with 60 cents? Huh? Brother, what do you mean you don't have my tooth, brother? I want, bro. I gave you everything you at the price that you asked for. I gave it to you, brother. How can you not give me the price that I'm supposed to receive back? How can you not give it to me? Huh? So what you doing with the pennies? Asking me that. What are you doing with the yo? You know what? Cause we gonna get back to this. Cause now I'm on some other shit. Now I'm on some other shit. What is being done with pennies? I gotta know. Please tell me what the fuck. I spelled done wrong. I'm tripping. I'm drunk already. Oh, and I put a B.